Hey, it's Kendra Waddell here, completing my screencast for the virtual field trip course this summer. How are you, Dr. Pinkston? So I want to talk today about using virtual field trips in a college access resource setting. Over the last couple of years, I've worked developing advisory curriculum for Jefferson County High School students, 9th through 12th grade, and working with them on career and college interests. So I want to talk about three possible projects today. The first one, exploring SpaceX, Mars One, and Virgin Galactic for careers in STEM. The second one, to create relationships with artists by exploring their studios and reaching out to them. Both of these are ones that I've written about in earlier submissions. And then the third one I want to talk about today is to use the resource Road Trip Nation as a vehicle for exploring different careers. So let me start by talking about SpaceX and Virgin Galactic. When we did the unit on Up Above, I was really interested in looking at these three companies because they're more on the cutting edge of what's happening with space exploration than even NASA is today. These private ventures have more money, they have more freedom, I guess, to kind of use it how they see fit. So I think that they're interesting places to explore careers in STEM, because they're both, legitimate places that you're going to be able to get a job if you're really talented and really doing some exciting things in our world today. So let's start with Virgin Galactic. The idea behind this assignment is that students would go through and first learn out about each of these companies. So Virgin Galactic, you can see they have a really impressive website. They just spend some time. What is it that they make? What is it that they do? What are their goals as a company? They'd go through, students would look at overviews, they'd watch videos. They've got a nice little timeline of the different technologies that they've created over the last decade. It's really lovely. So there's a lot of depth there for exploration. SpaceX is the same way. Lots of information to go through about what the company is and what it is that they do. Mars One in the same boat. Who are they? What do they do? Yada, yada, yada. Well, then the next step of this virtual field trip would be to actually explore the, I actually meant to go to SpaceX, the careers that are available through these different companies. So SpaceX careers are available here. You can see like all of these different departments are listed, all of these, what type of positions, which leads to really interesting conversations with students about what it means to be a contractor versus a full or part-time employee or an intern, how an internship at a company like this is a gateway to a job. You can also go through and select a location. For the sake of fun, let's just see what they're hiring people to do right now. Avionics, GNC engineer, computer displays engineer. It goes on and on and on. So there's all of these different things that are listed here. And the idea behind this would be students would go through and find jobs that are currently opening that they're just kind of exploring. They probably aren't going to know what a hardware design engineer does necessarily. But through this, they can see responsibilities, basic qualifications, preferred skills and experiences. So then from here, a student might say, oh, well, then what would it take to get a science degree in electrical engineering or a computer engineering degree? And use some of the other tools available in Kentucky, like the IOP, career cruising applications, to see which universities offer those things and then what they need to do in order to be accepted into those schools and those programs. Same way over here with Virgin Galactic. They've got the ability to search the careers that are available there. Boop, boop, boop. Browse our jobs listings. And it's going to be pretty similar. You can narrow the search, or we can just get like this giant, list, this huge list of these STEM-related careers. Mars One, the same thing. I think it's going to take me a second to find it, of course. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm sorry, this is not the... Well, I'm not going to just, pander about here and waste your time. Oh, is that 5 minutes? Surely not. Have I been talking for 5 minutes? Okay, well, let me briefly then, say these last two, okay? And I'll try to not do this more than 7 minutes. So this is the artist studio that you read about. Again, I think it's really cool because you go into these panoramics of these artist studios and see where these people work, see their faces, see the types of paintings that they do. I don't know if you got a chance to kind of look at this very much, Dr. Pinkston. It was super cool. And there's all these different artists. Some of them have really neat spaces. Some of them are like working in a closet. Whoa, hello, I'm a painter. I think there's a really interesting way to do career exploration using a resource like this for students to see who these artists are. This site also lets you link directly to the artist's website, like their personal professional website, so you can see what they do, how they sell their art, yada, yada, yada. So I think my idea for this virtual field trip was students would spend some time exploring these different studios, feel somewhat connected to an artist, and then go through the process of researching them, their own websites, and reach out to them through an email. It'd be really cool to scale something like this up with a local community, with something similar to what this guy's been doing out in Seattle. Is there a local panoramic photographer, or could we get some high school students with their own panoramic photography resources to go out and take pictures, interview artists? I think that this is no longer a virtual field trip. Now I'm really much doing a physical field trip, but it's very inspirational to think about things like this and then what doors those could open to other people virtually who wouldn't have the experience of going to visit these artists personally. So quickly, the last one I want to show you is Road Trip Nation. I don't know if you're familiar with this resource, but it's super cool. It's this show where I think these kids mostly are just coming right out of college and they're trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. So they pick a handful of people across the country that they choose to interview, and then they get in an RV, and it's a mix between, college age students interviewing random people and like reality TV because they're all living in this RV together going across the nation. But what's cool here are these interview archives. Explore. Why is this always so good looking? There's a couple of ways this is interesting for students who are doing career exploration. This Explore tool lets students go in and actually say some of the things they're into. So like, what lights you up at the core? Well, helping people. What's something I'm interested in? Let's say the environment and nature. And something else that I like, let's go for journalism. Something like this. So kids plug in their thing, and then this will go through and peg these different leaders who have similar backgrounds, right? And then I can go in here and watch this video, potentially, if it will load, of this leader profile of, who did I click on? Somebody who's not coming up at all. Mary Lee Orr, let's go to her. This is her open road. And then here's a little minute clip.
My life had led me to Head Start. I've been a real estate agent.
Odd Jobs, Giving Back, Environmentalist, Lyme Disease. So you can get to clips of all these videos through the roadmap, or just looking by leader, looking by interest, looking by theme. There's 18 business leaders that are listed here. There's a depth of content that's available for people who actually become members of the Road Trip Nation. There's like an education membership piece where you can create a student or an educator account and then go through and actually have full access to community groups and the more in-depth videos and some curriculum and things like that. But I think that it's just an interesting resource for college and career exploration. Even if a teacher were kind of go through and handpick out a handful of these to kind of show and be a springboard for discussions and advisory, I think it's a useful virtual field trip. It's also cool just to kind of look at this as an idea for something that could be replicated on a local level without kids actually maybe living in an RV, but with them looking into leaders locally that they're interested in and doing personal or phone interviews with them. I think this is a really neat way that an educator could tie a virtual field trip to a physical field trip, which I'm keen to do. I've been talking for 10 minutes. I'm real sorry about that. I did not realize that I would do that, so I'm going to stop now and tell you I've enjoyed this class and that I've appreciated your feedback, and wish you well and safe travels when you go see your daughter soon. All right, take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.